The mystery of Queen Tamar's burial site. In Georgian history, many events remain shrouded in mystery, but if you ask any Georgian which is the most enigmatic, many would unhesitatingly name the burial of Queen Tamar. Her final resting place is claimed by almost every corner of Georgia, giving rise to numerous legends and oral traditions. The existence of Tamar's grave is debated across various locations: Vardzia, Gelati, Svaneti, Kakheti, and even Jerusalem. Most of these legends follow a similar narrative. Some tales recount that during the funeral, 9 coffins were carried in different directions and buried secretly, so that no one would know which one contained the queen's remains. According to other legends, the pallbearers took their own lives to ensure the location would never be disclosed. It is noteworthy that the secrecy surrounding the grave is often attributed to the fear of foreign invaders. However, this popular belief frequently overlooks 3 contemporary sources from Tamar's era that explicitly indicate her burial site. Historical sources and evidence. Queen Tamar, the illustrious monarch of the Georgians, passed away on January 27, 1213. 3 works by contemporary historians have survived to this day: the Histories and Eulogies of the Crowned, the Life of the King of Kings, Tamar, and the Chronicles of the Era of Lasha Georgi. All these works were composed around the time of her death. Thus, the authors would have been well aware of her burial place. In these writings, particularly those by Tamar's personal historians, the account of the queen's passing is conveyed with such tragedy and intense emotion that it is evident the authors witnessed and experienced the events firsthand. For instance, according to the chronicler of the Histories and Eulogies of the Crowned, the queen was interred in Gelati. Other historical sources further corroborate that the Georgian monarch was indeed buried within the Gelati monastery complex. The 18th to 19th century poet Petre Laradze also identifies Gelati as the location of Tamar's grave. Tradition holds that he served as the head of the royal library in Tbilisi and was a highly learned individual. Given his social circles, it is inconceivable that he would not have been privy to discussions regarding the queen's final resting place. Furthermore, Laradze accompanied Georgi Avalishvili during the latter's visit to the Gelati monastery. In 1819 to 1820, Georgi Avalishvili undertook a pilgrimage to the holy sites of Palestine, documenting his journey in the work Travels from Tbilisi to Jerusalem. He writes, "On the left side of the Holy Temple, upon the upper part of its wall, the faces of Georgian kings are visible. The floor is paved with white stones, beneath which lie interred Georgi, Tamar, Queen Rusudan, David, and others, whose tombs were not found in ancient times." There is also a tradition suggesting that Tamar requested to be buried near the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. The French knight de Joinville mentions in his chronicles that Georgians carried the remains of their queen to the Holy Land with great honor. This version is often linked to the legend of the treasure, suggesting she was accompanied by vast offerings and precious ecclesiastical artifacts for the Georgian monasteries in Jerusalem. Archaeological efforts. Ekfatime Takaishvili. While contemporary historians pointed to Gelati, the legend of the disappearing grave likely emerged later. One alternative theory suggests Tamar rests in a secret cell carved into the rock at Vardzia. In 1920, the renowned scholar Ekfatime Takaishvili took a bold step by obtaining government permission to conduct excavations at the Gelati Cathedral. This marked the first formal attempt to locate the queen's hidden crypt. Takaishvili visited Gelati numerous times and many of his records remain unpublished. Among his archives, a draft titled Gelati, July 26, 1920, Tamar's Ekvateri, Chapel, stands out. His notes, written in both Georgian and Russian, describe the details of the excavation. Takeshvili's records mention a burial site referred to as Tamar's, located near the northwestern corner, and another on the southeastern side. The commission opened one grave beneath a fresco, where 4 bodies were discovered. However, after this find, Takeshvili ceased operations without excavating the remaining graves. The reasons for this sudden halt remain unclear. Some suggest he was falsely accused of searching for gold. Others cite a local legend. While resting, the workers purportedly read an inscription on the tomb of Catholicos Zachariah Kavariani, which ended with a curse upon anyone who dared open it. Frightened by the curse, the workers may have refused to continue. Regardless of the reason, the secret of Tamar's grave remained unsolved. Modern hypotheses. Considering the evidence, 2 primary theories emerge. Tamar was buried in the main cathedral of Gelati, or in the chapel named after her, and after her canonization, her relics were moved to the altar. She was originally buried in the southern annex of the Church of the Virgin, but was secretly moved due to the threat of invasion. The idea of relocating remains after canonization was a common practice in Georgia. It is believed that the remains of David the Builder underwent a similar transition. When David's tomb was opened in the early 20th century, it was found empty, suggesting his holy relics may also be located within the altar of the Gelati Cathedral. Conclusion: the origin of the legend. If the secret burial is indeed a legend, how did it originate? During Tamar's reign, Georgia was a political powerhouse, and there was no immediate fear of tomb desecration. However, in 1509, Ottoman forces invaded Kutaisi and moved toward Gelati, burning the monastery. During such invasions, the monks would have seen the city burning from the monastery heights. Realizing the danger, they likely hid icons, relics, and the remains of the 2 great saint kings, David and Tamar, within the monastery grounds to protect them from profanation. This critical historical moment likely served as the catalyst for the legend of the secret burial. Consequently, it can be concluded that any future search for Queen Tamar's grave should prioritize the grounds and structures of the Gelati Monastery, as it remains the most historically plausible location for her final resting place.